configs 1 and 2, cold start, vrest page, taxi config, STO takeoff, navigation, cruise page, and landings. Nice. Okay, that's cool. And we're normally doing STO takeoff, and we practice an STO landing, and then we do a rolling vertical landing at
that little place.
That little place, whose name I now can't remember. But I'm sure once I get a look at Lakatamia. Yep. So we first go to the other one. The bigger airfield to the east, I forget its name. We do standard circuit, STO landing, STO takeoff, then we go to Lakatamia, rolling vertical landing, and then in between times we're covering navigating flight, cruise page, and all that good stuff, and how to use comms. So give me 1 sec. I'll be like 2 or 3 minutes because I need to plug in my equipment. I'm only just home. So,
so is that 3?
I'm going to go off comms for a moment, but I will be right back.
Okay. Where's the Harriers? Oh, I got them.
Say again, mate.
Where's the Harriers? Oh, yeah.
A mental call sign for them.
Aquateri.
It's OCT1-3, you're ready to depart.
Have you got? Are you using SRS?
Yeah, I've got it open, yeah.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, on the VAF training.
On the VAF training.
Yeah, it's on the server. It should auto connect with Navy in here.
I think it is. What's the what channel's it default to? 251.
Are you in an airframe?
No.
I don't know.
Good check. 1's on the move. 2. Oh god, teleport. Teleport. Not good.
To tell him I'm watching you jump all over the place. There we go. 1, 3, hover check.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, you've got the overlay, ain't you?
Yeah.
That's what you're on about.
Oh, it's channel. What the hell?
30 FM
30 FM.
is what I'm getting a load noisy.
Okay, just booting up DCS now.
Righto.
Yo.
Hello!
Lag.
You getting lag?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Not me, like all of us.
On which server?
I don't know, whatever fuck one we're on. What server are we on, Kyan?
I think you guys are on mission.
Mission, I think, what... Yeah, I mean, we took off there and just stationary for a second. Push teleport 20 meters forward instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, when did you guys start?
I don't know, 10 minutes ago?
10 minutes ago. Right, yeah, fair enough. Cool, okay. There's not really anything I can do about it, sadly. I need to do like a complete kind of check and a reinstall at some point. So you might be better just switching servers for now if it's being problematic.
Well, I'll get back to the boys and I'll let you know what the crack is.
Right, okay. We should check in with the guys who are on the NTTR map as well and see if it's any different for them or if it's the same.
It's not going to be the mission unless there's something really fucked in it. Like it's just the server, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I know it's the server, but I'm trying to figure out like what all the parameters are that cause it.
Right. Well, playing on this server and flying on the server, that's definitely that definitely causes it.
Yes. Well.
Catch you later, bro.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to get connected up just now. Are you guys in the mission server just now?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, actually, I just realised I've not updated. I was like, why are no servers coming up on my server list? Right, give me 1 sec. I'm just going to go off comms while I update. It'll just be like 5 minutes. Oh, okay. That was actually fantastically fast. I'm already updated, so booting back up.
Guys,
Awesome.
Just a little hot fix.
we're in the Mentor ones.
Yes, exactly.
Mental 1. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I'll be 1-1, and then you guys can go 1-2 and 1-3. Hammy will probably be joining us in the next 15 minutes or so, so we'll take 1-4. And just leave, once you're in, just leave your aircraft as are.
Okay.
And I'll give you the full briefing in the cockpit.
Larnaca's the other airfield.
Yes, yeah, so we'll go to Larnaca first and do kind of normal STO stuff, and then we'll go to Lakatamia and do weird, interesting stuff.
We're not to put it on its back this time.
Yes, not allowed to do that. Right, here we go, I'm back in. Let's see, do I actually get something in the server list this time? Yes, I do. There we go, that's more like it. Helps if I'm running the correct version of the game. My throttle broke, and then I was on vacation for a week, so I've not flown in about 2 weeks.
You got a new
Keep
one.
on your toes.
Yeah, got a Virpil T50 CM3. I previously had the original, just T50, or MT50, I think they called it. So I had a Gen 1 Virpil throttle, and now I've got a Gen 3.
You got the stick to go with it.
The stick is also the original MT50, but yes, I've also got a Virpil stick and Virpil rudder pedals.
Good
The
stuff.
combat pilot ones. It's solid stuff, but it's a ridiculous amount of money.
Okay.
But then, in flight simming, everything is a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah. Still got the cheap option. Thrustmaster T1600
Oh yeah, those are good actually.
with the throttle and pedals. Cheap
Yeah.
option, you know. Gets you
No,
going.
it's a good setup. The Thrustmaster stuff is solid as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've all got SRS set up?
Yeah, I think it's
Oh,
there. It's running.
Got it running, yeah.
Yeah, which reminds me, actually, I need to change my PTT binding now, because I've got a different throttle. Gosh darn it. Wow, this is taking a long time to load.
That's
What's
a
it doing?
point, actually. Where do you set the PTT binder? Is it in SRS itself? Or
Yeah, in the SRS client, you want to go to the Controls tab.
Yeah.
You want to set a binding for Radio 1 and a binding for Radio 2. So in the real aircraft, you've got a two-way switch. You push it up for COM 1 and down for COM 2. And then you also want to make sure that your setting is enabled. It's called something like a radio select as PTT, something like that. And it then means that rather than selecting the radio and then pressing a push to talk, the radio select is the push to talk, so you can use it like the real aircraft.
Right.
Right, I'm going to grab Mentor 1. Right, here we go. I am in the cockpit, and yeah, like I said, I'll need to go and set my PTT, see if I can get it working. With my new hardware.
Let's try that.
Okay, there we go. Headset back on. Alrighty, everybody. So, very first thing we're going to cover is the configs. In the Harrier, we're normally talking about an aircraft config on the ground of config 1 or config 2. So config 1 is effectively the basics of the aircraft powered up on ground power only. It will always be used on the ship, which is where we're normally going to deploy from in a mission. It would also always be used at an airfield, such as this one. Config 2 is kind of the same, except on APU, and you would use that if you're at a field base, basically, where you don't have ground power. So first thing we're going to do is ask the ground crew for the GPU. Give me a sec, I actually need to map my radio doodads, because I've not done that either. Radio... Where is it again? Where's the in-game push to talk? I can't remember. I've got my SRS one done. Is it COM? Yeah, here we go. COM aft, COM forward. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. Oh, I have already done these. Or have I? What have I set these to? I don't even recognize these binds. Okay, let's reset them. So. Forward. Aft. Done. There we go. And yeah, so step 1, we're going to ask the ground crew for ground electric power. Okay, and
yeah, okay.
Chief, turn on the ground power.
And with ground power, we're then going to turn on our battery, and then the first thing we want to do is turn on all of our displays. So, full brightness on the UFC, full brightness on the HUD, full brightness on both DDIs, left and right. and we're then going to go ahead and align the jet, because that's the thing that takes the most time. So you're normally going to bring up EHSD on your left DDI, and then you're going to put the INS switch to INS ground, and it's going to begin alignment. Do you have your aircraft set up for stored heading in the
no.
special options? You don't, so you're going to do a full align, but
Yeah.
that's okay. Okay, and then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up our lights. So on the ground, you're going to have the lights master switch to normal, which is all the way forward, and then you're going to turn your position lights to full brightness. And that's for daytime. At nighttime, they'd be at low brightness. And that's you just about config 1. You would call that your config 1 set once you have a full alignment. So it's basically, you know, battery on, displays on, ground power plugged in, INS aligned, and high brightness on the position lights for daytime, low brightness for nighttime. While we're waiting on that INS alignment, let's program up the radios. Generally speaking, COM1 is going to be your flight comms, and we have a set of standardized frequencies that we use for that. We're using 363.1 from Mentor 1, decimal 2 from Mentor 2, decimal 3 from Mentor 3, decimal 4 from Mentor 4, and so on. So we are 363.1. So what I would normally do, just in case we need to maintain multiple frequencies, is I would rotate the COM1 selector to preset number 1. Brevity call for that is stud, so that we call that stud 1. And you're going to program it 363.1 and press enter. Once you've got that, go ahead and sound off on your COM1.
Two radio check.
2, this is 1, read you 5. Oh, sorry, didn't catch that. You were broken. Totally broken. Can't work out what you're saying. Okay, and then COM2, stud number 1 on your COM2 is generally going to be your home airfield. So in our case, that's here, Akrotiri. And frequency for Akrotiri, let me go ahead and find it because I can't remember it. It's been a long time.
128, is it?
Akrotiri, actually, yeah, down here it's on 339er decimal 850.
Okay,
So
339.
Yep, 339 decimal 850. Enter. And I've got that saved on my as stud 1 on my COM2. So in the event that we tune anything else, we have the option of switching to that. Now, I'm going to have the package frequency, I guess, as well. I'm going to go 128.4, I guess. That's the standard mission commander. So I'm going to go stud 2 on COM2 and program that 128.4.
128.4.
Cool. But for now, we'll have...
dropping in and out.
Oh yeah, we lost you there for a while. I couldn't work out what you were saying.
Yeah, I'm on like some sort of mini hub thing because they still ain't sorted me bleeding broadband out.
Good old BT.
So I'll try and join the server again and get fired up.
Okay, no problem. That's fine.
Ping's too high. I'll probably have to just bail tonight, gents.
All right. Okay. Sorry about that.
It's not your fault. It's
BT.
it's a household trying to run Netflix as well as me trying to be on here. So
Haha. Indeed.
I'll leave it be. And
Okay.
I'll catch up with you guys later.
All
All
right.
right. And sorry, which username are you?
Monk.
Yeah, because I'm in VR. I can't see my Discord window, so I don't actually know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, I'll drop out, and
Okay.
I'll catch you next time.
Okay, fair enough. Well, take care, man.
Right,
Right,
see you tomorrow,
right.
Jim.
Later, dude.
Okay.
Ciao.
Okay, so that
Right.
leaves you and your Happy Meal, and you're my number 2.
Yes.
Splendid.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a sec. I'm just taking a quick look to see who's actually on the server. It's weird. The Apaches always have the hardest time if the server's lagging at all. Everybody else actually seems to be fine.
There's a little bit of lag for me.
Uh-huh.
A little bit.
Let me just...
Not much. A little bit.
Yeah. See if I can get a readout on what it's doing. Right, here we go. I've got no packet loss. Yeah, there's no lag for me. But of course, it may come. Who knows? Cool. Okay, so we're both config 1 set. Is that correct?
I'm going to say yes. Yes. I'm aligned. Yeah, I'm aligned. Ready
Once you're
everything.
fully aligned, you should have your INS in IFA. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, okay. So
yeah.
you would now make the call that you're config 1 set. So, for example, I would just say 1 config 1 set.
2 config 1 set.
Perfect. Okay. So at this stage, we would do whatever briefing we were going to do for the mission. Often we're going to be sitting on the deck of Invincible at the start of a mission, and this is the state we'd want to be in. Like basically, the moment you're in the cockpit, you want to get your aircraft config 1. We might not necessarily launch immediately because sometimes we'll have a requirement on other flights, to provide cap or to do seed or something before we can actually proceed with our mission. So it may be the case that we'd sit at config 1 for a while on the deck, and we then proceed with a kind of in the cockpit briefing and get everything set up.
Okay.
But for today, we're not going to bother to do that because we know what we're doing today. Today we're going to fly to Larnaca and then Lakatamia, and then do some other kind of navigating flight. So we're going to go ahead with engine start now. So turning my head around, I want my DEC switch on, I want my fuel cutoff on, I want my oxygen on, anti-collision on. I want my nozzles at approximately 10 degrees. Of course, we can't really tell until the hydraulics kick in. And after that, I think we're good to go. So go ahead and just flip the engine start switch. And then you're monitoring your engine display panel on the top right of the cockpit. As soon as you see the RPM climbing, you can then pull the throttle out of cutoff and into the idle position, and then just wait for it to stabilize. It should stabilize at somewhere around 28%. Oh, and I had my nozzles at exactly 10 degrees.
Yeah, is that I think that's the default position, isn't it?
That's where you would normally have them whenever you're on the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 28%.
Perfect. Okay, so you've got a good engine start. You're then going to go ahead and get your avionics set up the way you want them. So that's usually going to be DMT on, FLIR on, RWR on, and set a volume that's not too loud. What else are we going to turn on? At this stage, we could, turn on the flaps actually. So flaps to on, and then go ahead and set flaps for cruise. You're normally going to want them at cruise when you're on the ground.
Yeah.
You're also going to set your trim 4 degrees down. So push your trim down switch until stab on your engine display panel is displaying 4 and a down arrow.
Yeah, got it.
Perfect. Bingo for today is 1.8.
1,800, yeah? 1.8.
Yep.
Okay.
Make sure your ICS volume knobs are set appropriately so that you can hear Betty if she says anything to you.
Where are they?
Right-hand console, just behind the ACNIP panel. It has 2 knobs inside each other labelled ground and aux.
Right.
They're your two volume controls.
Right, didn't know there. But where do you need the indicator on the dot? Like
I normally set them to the 11 o'clock position, and then from there you can twiddle them if they're gonna if they're an annoying volume level. I always forget which is which. One of them sets Betty, and the other one sets your sidewinder tone. Okay. You'll figure it out quick enough. Right, let's set up our TACAN now. So push TACAN on the UFC, and we want 107. Hit enter, and then turn it on by pressing the on-off button, and that will give you the Akratiri TACAN.
Okay.
What else are we going to want to do? That's probably just about it, actually, for the startup.
Seat.
Sorry?
Ejector seat.
We don't do that until we're at the hold point. So yeah, the things that we hold off doing until we're at the hold point are we don't arm the expendables, the dispenser, and we don't arm the seat until we're at the hold short. I'm just looking around. It has been a little while, so I might need to remind myself here. Oh yeah, I guess if you want to be really proper, you get your backup ADI and you actually zero it off, because it's normally in a climb for some reason. I don't know why it starts off in a climb.
Yeah.
But there we go. Got mine set. The other thing I tend to do actually is if you hit Alt for altitude on the UFC, I usually reset the low altitude to 450 instead of 500. That's just a habit of mine. Cool. Okay, with that done, we can then go ahead and get the ground crew to disconnect ground power and remove the chocks. And it... oh, no, I hit request repair. Ah! Oh, good. No can do. Shut down your engines. Good. Okay, I got away with that. So yeah, ground electric off. And wheel chocks away. And at that stage, you would then call that you were ready for taxi.
Chief, remove the wheel chocks.
One, ready for taxi.
Copy.
We're going to stay on Discord during the course of this training session, but normally once we were set up on comms, we'd actually deafen and mute ourselves on Discord and just continue using SRS. But because I'm going to do so much talking and you want to be able to hear me very, very clearly, I'll pretty much do everything on Discord for this session.
Okay. Cool.
But anything where it would be like a kind of mandatory call out, I will do it on the radio, just so that you get both. Right, I'm just having a look around, but this all looks good at this stage. So we would now go ahead and taxi. So flight lead does all of the comms with the tower. Of course, there's no tower today, so we're going to make calls to Akratiri traffic. So that's for anyone who's monitoring. So in your comm 2, you want to make sure that you're on stud 1, and that your stud 1... this is weird.
33985.
That is correct.
Okay.
I actually just found a bug, but anyway, we'll not worry about that right now. So yeah, 339.850, that's what you should be monitoring on your COM 2, and I'll then make our call. Akratiri Traffic Mentor 1 flight 2 times AV-8B will taxi via Yankee to holding point for runway 28. Okay, 2, follow me in sequence.
Akratiri
Sure,
traffic
copy.
1 times A10 taxiing via Whiskey Yankee taxiway to runway 28 option.
Okay, so I'm going to make my way to the left, and then once I'm on Yankee, I'm going to make a right turn towards the holding point for runway 28. And this is the standard lighting configuration for taxi. During daytime, we would have bright position and the anti-collision on. We don't have the landing light on. That comes on once we're at the hold short. And for field ops, this is, taking off from a runway is called field operations. We have anti-skid on. If we were on the ship, anti-skid would be down in the nose wheel steering position.
Akratiri
Right.
traffic.
So you've got it in just caster.
1, take off.
Correct. And then you have to push and hold
Yeah, I
the
got
nose
it.
wheel steering. Yeah. In order to steer. That gives you the normal kind of low gain nose wheel steering, and when we're on the boat we commonly need the high gain, so the anti-skid needs to be down, and then you have nose wheel steering all the time, and if you push and hold the nose wheel steering button you get the high gain.
Okay.
And that's the norm. Oh, there's an A10 on his way. Okay, and on the left-hand side of your HUD, you'll see an S, just below the angle of attack indication.
Got it.
That's your Yeah, that's your GPS ground speed, so you can use that to figure out how fast you're going. I normally target going about 30 knots on the ground, and then whenever I have to turn, I'll reduce speed to 25 or less.
Okay.
You don't want to be going too fast as you make the,
these
make the
things
corners.
Tip up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, this taxiway curves to the left, and then we get the stop bars. We're going to stop at the stop bars and hold short.
Okay.
Yep, one's holding short.
Actually, traffic, Dragon 1-2, taking up a holding pattern south of the accident. Dragon 1-2.
Okay, so I'm holding short. At this point, I'm going to go landing light fully forward into approach mode. I'm actually just sitting on the parking brake right now. What else am I going to do? I'm going to go flaps all the way down to STO, and I'm going to confirm that I have the STO light.
So you've gone landing light all the way forward, yeah? All the way on?
That's correct. Yeah. Landing light fully on. Flaps all the way down into STOL.
Actually, traffic, Dragon 1-2 is now clear.
Got that.
And then you have the STO light.
Yes.
I'm not going to do any further checks actually here because we do them on the runway. I'm going to go VREST page on my right DDI. I'm going to select STO and take a little look at what my settings are for that. Actually, one of my controls isn't set, so I'll quickly do that. I want my nozzle stop control. Here we go, because we're going to set our nozzle stops. Nozzle stop down. Nozzle stop up. Okay, and so for this type of takeoff, there's actually only two figures that we care about. We care about the NRAS and the nozzle. Are you familiar with doing a short takeoff?
You can't, yeah, reasonable.
Yeah, so the NOS value for me is 60. I guess yours is going to be the same. So that means...
60.
Yeah, so set your nozzle stop to the 60 degrees position.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to use for the takeoff. Once you've transitioned into normal forward flight, you're then going to pull it clear all the way back down again. So that later,
I
if you
always
do,
forget to do.
yeah, that can be a bother. You then got your NRAS. That's called nozzle rotation speed. So that's the speed at which you're going to pull your nozzles. So I've got 86 knots. I would assume you've got something very similar.
Same.
If you push your VSTOL master mode switch, you're going to see that NRAS appears on the ODU, and it's colonized. Enter 86 into the UFC and press enter. And what this means is that your airspeed will become boxed when you hit that speed, and that's your indication to pull the levers.
Okay.
Well, pull the lever. You've only got the one. Anything else that we do at this stage? We unsafe the seat. And we are then good to go. So we're going to enter the runway. I'm going to make the call on COM2. Actor traffic, Mentor 1 flight entering runway 28 Yankee to line up and depart. Okay, I'm going to taxi into the runway. I'll be left of center, and you can go right of center, a short distance behind me.
Okay.
We're going to take off together, with 3 seconds gap. And like I said, it's going to be an STO, but I'll give you a quick takeoff briefing before we actually go for it. It happens fairly quick in this configuration. We're not very heavy today.
Is this full fuel or...
Full internal, yes.
Full internal, yeah.
Full internal fuel. Okay, and then I'd make the call. 1 in position.
How far back do you normally want to be?
Something just forward of 45 degrees, I would say, from me. So actually, that's perfect.
Okay.
You're good about there. So just hold it on the toe brakes there, and you would call 2 in position.
2 in position.
Cool. Okay, we're going to do a quick check. We're going to pull our nozzles all the way to the stop, and we're going to confirm that we get 61 flap indicated on the left side in the cockpit. On the HUD, I'm indicating, can't tell actually because it's obscured, but probably also 60 or so. If I look at my EDP, also about 60.
Yeah.
So everything is looking pretty good. I'm going to return it to 10 degrees, and we use 10 degrees nozzle for the takeoff. So we've confirmed that the flaps are working, nozzles are working. I'm going to do a full controls wipe and make sure that everything looks good. I'm going to reset my trim to 2 degrees nose down instead of the 4 degrees we used for taxi. That's the takeoff setting, the standard takeoff setting.
Got it.
Expendables are coming onto auto.
Yep.
What else are we going to do? Caution lights all look good. Yep, everything is good actually. We're ready for takeoff. So I'm holding on the brakes. Next, I'm going to call flight run up. When I call that, you're going to continue to hold on the brakes, and you're going to advance the throttle until you get 60% RPM, and you're going to hold it there. You're then going to make the call to stable once you're happy with your engine instruments, and it looks like your engine is working normally. I'm then going to call flight. 3, 2, 1, go. At that stage, I will release my wheel brakes, and I'll advance my throttle to full power. Once I get to nozzle rotation speed, I pull the nozzles, I bring the witch's hat all the way up to the pitch corrects, which are around about 6 degrees, I think, something like that. I'm then going to smoothly reduce the nozzle back to 25. At 25 nozzle, the gear is going to come up, and the flaps are going to go to auto, and I'm going to continue to bring the nozzles full aft to 0. At that point, I've transitioned, and I can go nav master mode and landing lights off. Sound good?
Yeah, okay.
And you've got a 3-second gap, so once I go, you count to 3, and then you go.
Okay.
AFC is used at your discretion. It's really up to you what your preference is. Personally, pretty much as soon as I'm transitioned into normal forward flight and I'm above 250 knots, I turn it on, because it just makes flying a bit more hands-off for cruising flight. But you would turn it off for landing, and you would turn it off in combat as well,
Right,
if you're
okay.
having, do heavy maneuvering. Cool. Alrighty. So let's go ahead. I would also normally call for everybody to do their before takeoff checks and then call when they're ready. But we've done them together, so we're good to go.
Okay.
So flight run up. One stable.
2 stable.
Flight. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and 1 is airborne, and I'm resetting for 95% on the throttle there, just to make it easier for you to catch up and do your thing.
Okay.
Actiri traffic, Mentor 1 flight is airborne, exiting the circuit at altitude to the west. Okay, I would have also normally given a kind of briefing about what altitude we'd fly to and so on, but I'm not bothering this time. I'm going to maintain about 330 knots, and I'm going to make my initial climb to Angels 5, that's 5,000 feet barometric.
Okay.
And I'm on AFC now, so I'm pretty hands-off. And I'm going to reduce my angle of climb a little.
AFC. Oh, okay.
Okay, and nozzle stop is clear.
Actually, Tower Dragon 1-2, I'm down with the captain. Dragon 1-2.
Okay, once we hit Angels 5, I'm going to begin a left-hand turn all the way around, and we're going to follow the coast out towards, is it Larnaca? I always forget.
Yeah, Larnaca.
Yeah, cool.
So what's your throttle set at your RPM at the minute then?
82 for me right now.
82, right, okay.
Oh, and I missed my altitude. There we go. We're at Angels 5 now. Mike's going to hit the altitude hold as well, just to make my life easy. And we're going to begin a gentle left-hand turn all the way around. And I'm going to reduce throttle so that we don't go too fast. And yeah, when I'm doing turns, I normally do 30 degrees of roll. That's my standard rate turn. You'll see that on your backup ADI, you've got three in fact, larger ticks. One's at 30, one's at 60, and one's at 90 degrees of roll. So first big tick, that's our standard turn rate.
Actually, traffic Dragon 1-2, I'm now on final 5 miles.
You don't need to worry too much about like a close formation or anything like that. Just as long as you have me visual, that's all that matters.
Yeah, try not to run into the back here. Okay. Got it. What have you done with your lights? You've still got your lights on?
Landing lights are off, but position lights are on high, and anti-collision is on.
Yeah.
And that's the way you would always fly until you go fence in. Of course, when you go fence in, the master light switch goes off. Then you turn off all the lights.
Yeah.
There traffic, claw 1-1, claw 1-2 inbound from south, 6 miles out, Angels 8, straight in for runway 28 formation. After traffic.
And you can adjust the volumes of your COM 1 and your COM 2, of course, on the UFC to ensure that you can comfortably hear everything that's going on. I normally have my flight comms turned up and my COM 2 turned down, so it's just I can kind of filter it out.
Yeah.
I also have SRS set up so that my COM 1 comes in my left ear and my COM 2 comes in my right ear, so I can differentiate as well.
Didn't know you could do that. That's cool.
It's a nice little setting. Okay, going to roll out about here. And we're making our way back along the coast again. Just going to advance a little bit of throttle because we're slowing down.
What'd you cruise at? 350, something like that.
350 would normally be fine. I'm actually choosing 330 today. Actory traffic, Mentor 1 flight crossing the field, heading east, Angels 5. Okay, so at Larnaca, what we're going to do is we're going to join the downwind for, I forget which runway it is, but it's kind of the same heading as the one we took off from, just about. Let's see, what's runway 22. So yeah, we're gonna join the downwind for Larnaca's runway 22. Are you familiar with a standard traffic circuit?
Yeah, in like civilian terms, not so much military.
It is pretty much the same. The only difference with a military circuit is that they don't have a base. In a military circuit, you fly the downwind and then you do a continuous turn all the way around to the final. You don't bother with the base because you're going too fast. You can't really do a base. So we're going to join the downwind south of the field. We're going to make left turns onto final. I will do it first. You'll just follow me round, and then when I land, you'll continue the whole way around the airfield and rejoin the downwind, and then it's your turn. So we're going to do an STO. I'm actually just making a gentle right turn here to follow the coast. What was I was saying now? Yeah, we're going to do an STO. So the way it works in an STO is we're going to fly downwind 1,000 feet, 250 knots. When we are abeam the touchdown point, our chosen touchdown point, we're going to go not fully configured, but we're going to go configured. So that means that we already want to be in VSTOL master mode, we want to be gear down, we want to be nozzles 25, and then we want to be flaps in stall.
Okay.
So that's the configuration as we reach the touchdown point, or abeam the touchdown point. Gear down, nozzles 25, flaps stall. We're then going to begin a left turn all the way around to join final. I think you're transmitting, by the way. We're going to begin our left turn all the way around to join the final, and by the time we finish the final, we want the nozzles at 60. And then we want to get all lined up for our final approach and touchdown. And the way we do the final approach is... Oh, there we go. That's Hammy. Hello there, Hammy. Mentor 1 flight's inbound Lakatamia for an STO landing.
Okay, do you have...
So yeah, you're then going to fly with the witch's hat on the horizon, and you're going to use the throttle to place the flight path marker on your chosen touchdown point. It's that simple.
Right, okay.
So fully configured when you're on the final is gear down, 60 degrees nozzle, stall flap, witch's hat on the horizon, and then throttle to put the flight path marker on the touchdown point, and that's it. It's that simple. You just fly all the way down, touch down, and then you go idle and use the brakes.
Yeah, I'm a few miles behind you.
One copy. Cool, let's begin our descent now, because we're going to be getting there soon. So, I'm going to come out of my alt hold. And I'm going to start a gentle descent. I'm going to put my flight path marker about 5 degrees down. And I'm going to reduce throttle to 70%. So I don't accelerate too much.
Okay.
Lovely formation landing there.
Thank you. Lower.
Oh yeah, Hammy's right behind us there. Cool, he's going to be joining.
It was a bit bumpy though.
So we're descending all the way down to 1,000 for this.
Look good from where I was sat, mate.
Visual request rejoin from the left.
One. Actually, I've begun this descent a bit far out, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can't see Larnaca yet.
Yeah, we're nowhere near it. It's the other side of that bay up ahead. Gonna steer to put that outcropping on the nose. I'm going to reduce my rate of descent as well, because we're just about 1,000. And actually, at this stage, let's push stud 2 on our comm 2. We don't need to be listening to that criteria anymore. Mentor 1 flight up on package comms. Okay, there you are. You're still there.
Roger, Mentor 1, this is Trigger 1. Navigating north of Cyprus to the Harrier.
Mentor 1 is inbound Larnaca for takeoff. Sorry, for landing and takeoff training. Okay, field in sight. It's at my 11 o'clock now. We're going to fly along the coast. We're going to make our downwind kind of down the coast, parallel with the runway, of course. So with that in mind, I want to just do a little course correction to the left, and I want to bring my speed back because I want 250 knots for the circuit, and I also want 1,000 feet, so I'm going to descend a little. Okay, that's about the right heading for the downwind, and that's about the right altitude. Going to switch to VSTOL master mode now, so I've got all my symbology that I want. It's quite handy because I've got my throttle and my nozzle and everything all up on the HUD.
Yeah. What RPM gives you 250?
Whichever RPM gives you 250. I'm currently at about 52, but that's going to vary based on wind, payload, etc. So yeah, just twiddle it till you get it right. So we're just joining the downwind now. Like I said, I'm going to do the whole thing, and I'm going to land. You're going to continue the whole way around the circuit and then rejoin downwind, and then it's your turn.
Okay.
So I'm waiting until I'm parallel the touchdown point now. I'm 1,000 feet, I'm 250 knots, that's my starting condition, but I'm completely clean as of right now. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing as I do it, just stay with me and then go around the field once I'm on final. So I'm looking at the touchdown point, it's not quite off my wing yet. Fly a little bit longer. Okay, I beam the touchdown point now, so I'm going to go gear down, nozzle 25, set, flaps, stall, set. And now I'm going to begin my left turn. And it's okay to allow the aircraft to descend now. That's what we want. And during the course of the turn, I'm going to start moving the nozzles all the way down to 60. Don't go any further than 60, because you're then going to lose too much lift. But that's me. I'm now set at 60. I'm now positioning the witch's hat on the horizon. And I set the throttle in order to get the descent rate that I want. I want that flight path marker on the touchdown point when I roll out. Okay, I turned a little too aggressively, so I'm rolling it more to the right, bringing myself towards the center line. I'm feeding it throttle, because I'm descending too fast now. There we go. Okay, I'm actually going to roll out here and come more towards the center line. You see my airspeed is just bleeding off, coming in nice and slow, just under 100 knots. Just about lined up final. Got my altitude cue, perfect, that's actually perfect timing. I always want to get that altitude warning 450 feet just as I roll out in final. Okay, you can continue now, you're going to go down the dead side of the runway and then rejoin the downwind and do this. There's a bit of a crosswind, be advised, you're going to need some rudder once you're on final.
Okay.
But I've now got my witch's hat on the horizon and my flight path marker right on the touchdown point that I want. Actually, there's a lot of crosswind. I've got full left boot in here. Someone's trying to test us today, but that's okay. So, witch's hat is still on the horizon, flight path marker is at the touchdown point. Gonna flare it just barely, and I touch down, throttle to idle, and on the brakes. And as I decelerate below 70 knots, I can then push and hold nose wheel steering. And that's it. That was a landing. Your turn. Show me how it's done.
Righto.
Flaps come all the way up to cruise, nozzles back to 10, and I'll exit right when my turn comes. Yeah, I'm going to exit right, and I'm going to go right again and make my way to just beside the touchdown point, and I'll wait for you there.
Okay.
So remember, 250 knots, 1,000 feet initially. One's vacated. Are you here with us, Hammy?
Yeah, sort of, it's been downwind and cross.
Cool, I suspected you were there.
There's the new joystick.
Oh, it's the throttle. I still have the same joystick. It's really nice. I like it. I've got finger lifts and everything.
Yep.
And I've got them configured so they work like a Harrier.
Oh, in case you get into afterburner.
Exactly.
It's exciting.
Well, no, actually, I've got it configured for the cut-off and idle positions. That's what it is in the Harrier. Okay, I don't have eyes on you, too. I don't know where you are right now.
I'm just turning, well, from,
Base.
onto base.
Boat scene. Yep, tally. Okay, so you're already configured.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you're looking good there. And make sure that you're moving your nozzles towards 60 now. In fact, you probably want them on 60 at this stage. And then it's Witchy's hat on the horizon, flight path marker on the touchdown. And you're going to need pretty much full left rudder here. Okay, and I've taxied back to near the start. I'll wait for you both here. So this is the standard way we'll take off and land. Takeoffs and landings in the Harrier will tend to be STO. It's the safest, easiest way to do it.
On the beam landing point, it's on your base.
Cool.
Sorry,
Continue 3. You're good to land right after 2.
1 final.
Just carry on.
2
Nice.
final. Man, that is a crosswind.
Yeah, that's a crosswind. But you're looking good. Yeah, you're looking very good, actually. Nice. And just give it a slight flare, not much, because you've got a long tail, you might hit it. That's it. That's it. Throttle to idle, and then you can gently brake, but just be careful you don't skid off the runway.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Nicely done.
Nozzles 10, is it?
Yeah, nozzles 10, flaps up to cruise. You want to continue forwards, by the way. Your exit is further down the runway on the right.
Right.
That was a good landing. So yeah, you're going to exit right and then make another right and make your way to behind me. I'll be right back. I'm going to go and get a drink.
Okay.
3 turning final, Larnica. On the southeast. Don't know which one the number is. Oh, I put my gear down.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll buff out.
Perfect. Bit more. See if the three-
Okay, 1 is back. How did you all do?
Just behind you. Well, taxi.
Yeah, I see Hammy. I assume that's Hammy on the runway?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I may have forgotten to put my gear down.
Oh, okay. That's that'll be a fail.
Yeah. Let's see if it lets me.
Oh, that's the thing, of course. Yeah, you could do a vertical takeoff. You'll probably need to dump some fuel, but you could do a vertical takeoff, and then drop the gear in and land again.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I. Because I don't think I'm light enough. I'm gonna give it a shot. I might be able to roll a little bit. See what happens.
Deary me. Disgraceful behaviour.
Indeed. Stop lever. Water on. Where's the water? Right.
The water dump switch is left console, very far to the rear.
So yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of a little bit of water. Just I need as little weight as possible.
Okay. Okay, 2, if you want to just sit there on your parking brake just now. So you should be back into your kind of clean configuration. So that's flaps in cruise, your landing lights on, your nozzles are at 10 degrees. And we'll get ready to go to Larnaca now. So for Larnaca, go ahead and tune a TACAN of 3-3 Yankee.
Larnaca or what's it
Lakatamia.
called? Lakatamia.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
Okay.
So we're going to program Lakatamia, 33 Yankee for that one.
33 Yankee. Got it. Have I? No. Is it?
Should be reading about 20 miles.
3 is back
Yeah.
taxing.
20 miles, yeah.
I'm actually surprised that I didn't brake.
You're not damaged.
Which is
Where are you
Good.
off to? There he goes. Okay, we're going to re-enter and turn right, and I'll be left of center. You'll be right of center too.
Okay. Copy.
And we're going to do the exact same type of takeoff we did at Akrotiri. So we want our nozzle stops programmed for 60. And we can just use the same NRAS. We'll be close enough weight-wise right now. So we'll accelerate down the runway. We'll pull the nozzles when we get NRAS. And Witchy's hat up to the pitch corrects. Nozzles come forwards to 25. We then go gear up, flaps up into auto, and then we continue to transition the nozzles all the way down to 0. So, exact same approach as before.
Okay.
And this time we're going to climb to Angels 3, runway heading. Okay, 1's in position.
Two's in position.
Okay, flight conductor before takeoff checks. I'm not going to talk you through it this time, so just do it and then say when ready for takeoff. 1 is ready.
we will depart 10 seconds behind.
Copy.
See if I
ready.
still fly.
Flight, run up. One, stable.
2 stable.
Flight 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, 1 is airborne and nozzle stop is free and clear. And I'm going to bring my power back to about 90% just now, making my initial climb for Angels 3. And then we'll turn direct TACAN for Larnaca. Lakatamia. Bloody hell.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I meant. Going to bring the power back quite a bit actually, all the way back to 80%. And leveling off Angels 3. And beginning a right-hand turn, direct TACAN for Lakatamia. And we want to keep the speed under control. I'm actually going to bring my power all the way back to 70 actually, we're going far too fast. So, Lakatamia has a north-south facing runway. We're going to land facing north. I think it's technically like runway 01 or something, I'm not really sure. We're going to do right-hand turns, so we're going to be facing south in the downwind, and then we'll make a right-hand turn onto final. We're going to do basically the same approach as we did here. So we're going to do what looks like an STO. Final configuration is 60 degrees nozzle. However, once we get much closer in, we're actually going to pull the nozzle all the way down to the vertical stop, which is 82 degrees. And at that stage, we're going to, again, have the Witchy's hat on the horizon. We're going to aim to put the flight path marker on, I'm going to roll out here towards Lakatamia. We're going to put the flight path marker on the touchdown point, and we're going to continue inbound like that. If we find that we're slowing down too much, we can actually bring the nozzles back a little bit. So we could do something like 78 or 79 degrees just to keep us going forwards. We don't want to actually enter a hover, of course.
Yeah.
And we're going to touch down like that. And the reason we do this is because Lakatamia is a helicopter base, so it has a tiny runway. I think the runway is only about 300 meters or something ridiculous like that. So you can't actually land an aircraft on this runway at all. It's really designed for helicopters. But we can do it because we're Harriers and we're cool. So this is good practice for landing on the boat. Although on the boat you would do an actual vertical landing, not a rolling vertical like this. But nonetheless, it's a good skill. It's a good way of getting into very small airfields like this one. So we're going to fly directly over the runway, and we're going to descend to, again, 1,000 feet, 250 knots into the downwind, make right-hand turns onto final, and I will do the first approach, and then it's you number 2, and then number 3 will show us how it's done.
Okay.
And then we're going to take off from Lakatamia, which is an exciting experience.
Did you take off with less fuel, or have you done that check already?
No, we had a full fuel load when we took off, but that's okay because the takeoff here we're going to do with water as a wee practice. Okay, actually going to start.
Yeah, no, sorry, never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah, no, we'll retain the fuel we've got. Okay, I'm going to begin descending to 1,000. And I'm going to begin bringing my speed back. We're going to get to 1,000 feet, 250 knots, as before.
One way heading is the 350 magnetic.
Ah, nice, thank you. I'm going to aim to fly directly over the field. I'm actually going to switch my altimeter to radar. Do you know how to do that too?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Airfield in sight.
Yeah, you can see it, 'cause I've got.
All right, it's on the nose. It's right on the nose. So it's a teeny tiny runway, like I said, basically north-south. There's some buildings and other bits and bobs kind of around it.
Yeah. If you see a big
I got
long,
it. I got it. Yeah.
If you see a big long runway, you've went too far, and that's Nicosia.
Yeah, actually, pretty much our 11 o'clock is that other airfield, the name of which I can't remember. So I'm going to fly over the field and align myself with the runway as I do so, and then I'll do right-hand turns to get into the downwind. We'll extend the downwind quite a bit than we would normally, because usually you're going to fly so the touchdown point is kind of 45 degrees over your shoulder, but you need actually a bit longer here because the runway is tiny. So almost at the right speed, almost at the right altitude. Going to turn right just to line myself up with that runway. And I'm going to keep my turn coming round to the right and get myself into the downwind. So just follow me too, but you're not going to do a landing on this pass.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to turn off my AFC now, and I'm going to go VSTOL master mode. Confirming my nozzle stop is free and clear. Looking over my shoulder, airfield in sight. Okay. And this time we have the TACAN giving us distance, which is kind of helpful. I'm going to tighten my turn here because I don't want to be much more than 2 miles away in the downwind. That'll just about do it. Rolling out here. Maintaining about 1,000, maintaining about 250 knots. Trimming, because now I'm on manual trim. Perfect. Okay, I'm happy with this. So I'm downwind, I'm abeam the touchdown point, so I'm now going to go gear down, 25 nozzle, flap stall, and I'm configured. 45 degrees over my shoulder now. Going to give it just a bit more, and I'm going to begin my turn. Maintaining Witchy's hat on the horizon now. And I'm now going to go nozzles to 60 during the course of the turn. Set, I'm now at 60. Give it a bit more throttle. And I'm going to roll out about here. And I'm feeling that I'm high, so I'm reducing the throttle. And you'll see that there's a bunch of kind of residential high-rise buildings off the end of the runway closest to us. I usually use them as a reference. I normally pass them before I move the nozzles into the vertical stop. Make sense?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, continuing my turn to the right to get fully aligned. And I'm now on final, fully aligned. I'm just going to bleed some altitude just now, because I'm a bit high. Very high, actually, so I'm going to really pull the throttle back. That's it. Altitude's coming back into the range I want it to be in. Throttle back up. Flight path markers on the end of the runway. I'm now going to go 82 on the nozzle and give it more power. Be ready for having to give it quite a bit more throttle once you're into the vertical. And I'm actually going to leave it on 82 because I have quite a lot of forward speed still. I'm needing quite a lot of right rudder here. And I'm rolling left to bring myself into alignment with the runway. It's actually looking not too bad.
Yeah,
Fully aligned.
Go on.
Okay, I'm about
Okay.
to touch down.
2's downwind.
There we go. I'm on the ground. Throttle to idle. And I'm going to bring the nozzles back to 10 degrees so I can actually control the aircraft on the ground. There, done. Yeah, once you're on the ground, you might want to switch your anti-skid off so that you can do the high gain. The high gain nose wheel steering because it's pretty tight here. Okay, 2. Show us how it's done.
Yeah, when you pass below, I can't remember if it's 50 or 60 knots, you'll basically lose
Almost all your lift.
wing lift. So be prepared to change
Your throttle, yeah, you're going to want a lot of throttle. So just, again, just maintain the witch's hat on the horizon and the flight path marker on the where you want it to touch down, and everything will work out for you. Okay, 1's on the blocks. Okay, looking pretty good. Yeah, I can see you're hunting for your alignment there.
Yeah. 2's final.
Yes, you are. That's looking good. Okay, let it get a bit closer, and then transition to the vertical. There you go. Yeah, that's good. So you're kind of rolling it left and giving it right rudder just to maintain alignment, and give it power so you don't drop too fast. That's looking quite good. You're very stable there in your approach.
the turning base.
There you go, on the ground. Good job. And you're going to exit right and join me on here, and then 3 is going to show us.
Righto.
One moment, I'm just going to go headset off, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
B finals.
Caution, caution. Caution, caution.
Okay, I'm back. And there's 2. Fantastic. And there's 3 on final, showing us how it's done. While he's doing that, I'm going to derive a set of coordinates that we're going to fly to.
Okay.
And I'll talk you through what to do with that. And there's 3. Excellent. Okay. Let me know when you're set 3, and I'll talk all of us through making a set. Making a new waypoint, basically.
Navigating back to Mother, just south of the SA2, SA11 site. Angels 30.
Oh yeah, I should have brought my flaps back up into cruise. That was bad of me. In the real world, I'd be heating them up right now, which is not great.
Yeah, they've been melted.
Alrighty, are you ready for a waypoint, Mr. Hammy?
Let me gas the ground crew for a bit of fuel first.
Okay. While we're doing that too, I'm going to talk you through a quick little trick. Sensor select switch left. If you don't have EHSD on your left DDI, sensor select switch left will bring it up. Subsequent presses will give you decentered EHSD on your left, and then the EW page, and then back to just normal centered EHSD.
Okay, got it, yeah.
It's quite a handy thing to use. And for night flying, sensor select switch right will always give you the FLIR on the right DDI.
Yep.
And then subsequent presses will toggle between white hot and black hot.
Okay.
So those are pretty standard navigating flight things. And you know about the waypoint increment button. Tapping waypoint increment flips through your waypoints. A long press of waypoint increment brings up the quick select page on your ODU, which will allow you to select waypoints, mark points, or target points directly on the ODU.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so with your EHSD on the left DDI, are you ready there, Hammy? Yep. Go ahead and hit data page. And this will allow you to create a new waypoint. Now, by default on the ODU, it's going to say waypoint, but if you tap waypoint, you can create waypoint offsets, you can create target points, or pressing it again brings you back to waypoint. Make sure it's waypoint that you have selected.
Right.
Okay, with waypoint selected, press 2 on the UFC and press enter. And it should then show you 2 with an asterisk, confirming to you that you're creating a new waypoint.
Yep.
Now select position on the ODU.
Yep.
And then press number 2 for north.
Yep.
And you're going to enter 350603 and press enter.
Okay.
And then you're going to press number 6 for east. And you're going to enter 032.
Yep.
1605 and press enter.
Okay, so that's, yeah, the little pointy out bit at the north of the island.
Exactly. And you can now press data again on your EHSD page to exit data mode. So you're now no longer editing. And then you can tap waypoint increment and just make sure that waypoint number 2 is selected. And I'm reading 52.1 miles.
Yep, 52.1.
Perfect. That's our next destination. Alrighty. 3, are you happy to continue?
Happy.
Excellent. Oh, and actually, before takeoff, let's set the Akrotiri TACAN so we're ready for recovery. So we're going to go TACAN 107, enter. I'm going to flip it from Yankee to X-ray, and then we have Akrotiri again.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so once again, we're going to get ready for this takeoff. We're going to set the nozzle stop to 60 degrees again. We're not going to worry about the NRAS today, because it's not a very long runway. So, you either make NRAS speed or you pull the nozzles when you hit the end of the runway, whichever comes first. And then the only other detail, so of course, make sure your flaps are in stall before you make the takeoff. And then the other thing you're going to do is you're going to select H2O takeoff. You're going to make sure you have takeoff water selected. So as part of your cleanup, after you transition into normal flight, you're going to want to make sure that you turn off the water again. Note that the water will only flow at very high throttle settings. So if you retard the throttle, it will stop squirting water anyway. So it's not such a big deal.
Right.
And yeah, make sure your nose wheel steering is off. Sorry, your anti-skid is off, because it's really tight here trying to get back to the start of the runway. We're actually going to take off facing south because we have a pure crosswind, so it actually doesn't matter which way we face. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this first. I'm going to make an initial climb to Angels 6, and I'll then orbit the airfield and wait for you guys. So I'm going to make my way to the runway now.
Caution, caution.
And yeah, 2 if you want to kind of follow me, but wait at the edge of the runway for your turn.
Yep, 2 followed.
Yep. Yeah, we have to take off singly at this airfield because the runway is teeny. So I'm going to take every last meter of this runway and do a really tight turn at the end. Because every meter of runway behind you is useless. What is it they say? Runway behind you, altitude above you. They're both useless. Okay, so flaps are STOL. Pulling my nozzles just to check. Yeah, stops at 60 and I get the flaps. Resetting the nozzles to 10. I'm now going H2O to takeoff. I'm noting an increase in RPM. Got it. That means that the water system is working. I'm going to run up to 60% on the brakes. Okay, I'm stable. 3, 2, 1, and I'm off. And yeah, water flow light is showing. I am using water. Pulling nozzle. Off I go. And I'm already transitioned. That was a very, very quick, very easy takeoff. And I'm going to retard the throttle so I stop using water. And resetting the water switch to off. And I'm putting my anti-skid on, turning off my landing light, and I'm moving my nozzle stop to a free and clear position. And that's me, I'm done. 2, it's your turn.
Okay.
And I've entered a right-hand orbit, and I'm going to climb to Angel 6. It happens very quickly. It's actually very similar to taking off on the boat. So it's good practice for when you start doing ship ops.
60. Flaps 2. What's it take off? Two's rolling.
Okay, go for it.
Two's airborne.
See the power you get there.
Yeah, that's insane.
And of course, we're not even, we're only like half fuel, we've got no payload, and we're using water, so that's kind of, you're basically a rocket ship at that point.
Here, but
Okay, and that's me. I'm at Angels 6, leveling off. Okay, I used 90 pounds of water with that takeoff. I still have 410. That'd be plenty for making a return to the boat.
Oh, I used a bit more.
That's okay.
350.
That happens. Oh yeah, that's still plenty. That's fine. Don't worry about that. So yep, just confirm you're all cleaned up. You should be nozzles all the way forward.
Yep.
Yep. Landing lights are off, water switch is off, flaps are auto.
Yep.
here, stop lever is all easy to forget.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
STR
clear
lever.
your stop. Yeah, yeah, you want to clear that. Nice. Okay, I'm at Angel 6. Let me know once you reach Angel 6. We don't need to be in formation or anything for the next bit. It's not a big deal. The next thing we're going to do is fly direct waypoint 2 at Angel 6. And then I'll go over some cruise page stuff. Have you used the cruise page?
Well, maybe. Not intentionally if I have.
No problem. Okay, let me know when you're at Angel 6.
Okay, yeah, Angel 6,000 feet.
Perfect. Okay, look at your engine display panel, and you see you've got your fuel flow there in pounds per minute, ppm. You got FF for fuel flow.
Got it.
Yeah. So note that in the Harrier, this is true for all jet aircraft. When you're low level, you burn a lot more fuel. As you climb, you burn less and less fuel. Your engine becomes more and more efficient. I'm currently showing 88 pounds per minute. So you can always use this as a really quick and easy way to figure out your endurance. Because of course, I know my fuel flow, I can just round that up to 100. Let's say I'm burning 100 pounds of fuel per minute. I can see I've got 4.1, actually exactly 4.0 in fuel now, 4,000 pounds. So I know that I can fly for 40 minutes. That simple. So that's your very, very basic way of doing it. Other thing you can do, of course, is bring up your VREST on your right DDI, and then select Cruise on the right-hand side, and you're going to get a bunch of information. Let me know when that's up, and I'll talk you through it.
VREST Cruise. Yep, got it.
Okay, so you've got two columns, ACR and OPCR. So ACR is actual cruise, OPCR is optimal cruise. So the actual cruise is what you should expect at your current altitude and speed. Actually, no, sorry, just current altitude, I think. Yeah, current altitude. So for my ACR, mine is saying Mach number at 0.49. So it's telling me if I wanted to be really fuel efficient, I would fly at Mach 0.49. It confirms my current altitude. In my case, it's actually reading 6894 in feet. Range is telling me what my range to bingo would be at present. So got nautical miles there. And then you've got M range, which is maximum range at this altitude. So that's the furthest you could possibly go. Optimal cruise is going to tell you the Mach number and the altitude that you should fly at in order to get the best possible cruise. Mine is giving me a ridiculous figure right now of like 40.5 angels. That's basically impossible in a Harrier, so I don't know where that number's coming from. But it says if I was to fly at 40,000 feet, I would be able to fly just over 500 nautical miles with the fuel I've got left. Now, of course, that's total bonkers, but hey. But you can see here, the higher you fly, the better the numbers you're going to get. And you could actually just climb to an altitude that you're comfortable at. Like, I wouldn't really fly a Harrier much above Angels 20. And then look at the actual cruise, and it's going to give you the numbers for your current altitude. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. Alrighty, let's turn direct inbound waypoint 2. And we're going to do a quick tour of the range. This is our standard bombing range here on Cyprus that we tend to use during training. We're not actually going to drop anything because we don't have any weapons today, but I always like to make people familiar with where it is and what it looks like. So yeah, we're just going to fly Angel 6. If you want to, actually, go ahead and climb and experiment a little bit. You know, choose an altitude between Angels 10 and 20 and take a look at your actual cruise numbers, look at your fuel flow, get a feel for the kind of performance you're getting up there.
Okay, yeah, I'm climbing. I'm just behind you now. Climbing above you.
Yep, seen. Or tally, I should say. Oh, yep, rolling out direct waypoint 2.
Visual. Tallies were baddies,
Uh,
isn't it?
I guess. Well, I've heard people say tally on friendlies as well.
Okay. I mean, we all know what we mean.
Yeah.
There's an issue is if you're in a furball, you know, which doesn't really happen too often with Harriers.
Well, and also, a Harrier is a very, very recognisable plane form, so I think you'll know which are the bad guys and which are your friendly Harriers. Who's that saddling in with me? If you get closer, I can read your canopy rail.
I'm actually really surprised that I wasn't that big Harrier.
There you are. You got your slime lights on, my old son. You don't run them in daytime.
Well, too close to touch anything there.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be messing with that right now.
So I'll wait a few minutes to fix that.
No, you're so gonna hit me. And there's not any lag. Those poor Apache boys, they're always experiencing lag, but
On Tuesday there was a little bit.
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah,
a plane
the
line.
server is definitely, you know, bad. It has a problem that I need to fix. Don't know what it is, but I'll need to work on that. But you're smooth as next to me.
Yeah, it's pretty good for me as well.
Looks good. Days like Tuesday was fine. There was no problem. I wouldn't be flying this close on Tuesday. A few plane lengths out because we were sort of getting lag of one or two plane lengths here and there.
Yeah.
So this is maybe better.
Nah, you're looking good there. Nice formation flying. Okay, I'm reading 31 miles inbound, waypoint 2.
So what's the throttle you've got now?
I'm at 76.
No, I mean in terms of your control setup.
Oh, right. I've got a Virpil CM3, so their latest throttle.
Oh yeah, I think that's the same one as I've got. CM3 is the one where you can turn
You've
a
got
wee
the-
knob and it gives you fancy colours.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
And you've
yeah,
also got the finger lifts on the throttle.
I don't use it, to be honest,
Oh.
because I 90% fly the Harrier, but to be honest, I forgot. Like, even when you were talking earlier, I was like, oh yeah.
You've got
And then
those.
I was like, I've actually got those, but I just don't,
Yeah.
so immune to using them that I forgot I've got them.
What I've done is I've set up a cut-off detent at the bottom of my throttle, so I need to use the finger lifts to basically shut the engine down. And then I've defined a range at the bottom end of the throttle. I think I defined like 0 to 15 as a virtual button. So whenever my throttle is down at the bottom, it's basically pressing a pretend button, and I then mapped that button to the throttle cutoff in the Harrier. So whenever I pull the throttle over the hump and all the way into off, the engine shuts down, which is quite nice. So it acts like the real one. And I could show you how I've done it if you like.
Yeah, actually, no. I was about to say, like
losing you quite a bit, Hammy. You kind of break up a lot. Were you talking there?
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna break.
You're going to fall back a bit so you don't kill me.
Hang on, you just because I landed with my gear up.
I don't trust you anymore.
So I've got,
okay.
I've got max range on the cruise page.
Yep.
248 or 391. What was the range again? What's that? 14 miles it says.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
That's range to your currently selected waypoint.
Okay, is that all that means? Okay.
That's all it's confirming. And
right, okay.
you should be able to use the up and down arrows on the right hand side to change that,
Okay.
but it's currently bugged and it doesn't work. Yeah. So yeah, we're 14 miles, or at least I'm 14 miles inbound waypoint 2. So you'll see that outcropping. On that outcropping, take a little look, and you should find that there are 4 bombing circles.
Okay.
You'll also find, you probably need to go to the F10 map to see them. Oh no, they're not showing. No, yeah, they are showing on the F10 map. There are a bunch of boats. So there's a boat kind of east. There's a boat to the north, and there's a boat to the kind of west, labelled IP1. So the ones on the east and the north, that's your downwind. If you fly from the one on the east to the one on the north, that's the downwind. You then turn left to the one labelled IP, and then you turn left again and fly inbound the bombing circles. So that's your circuit when you're using the range.
I'm gonna head straight to the IP boat and drop a couple of training bombs in the.
Cool. Yeah, you go ahead. We will observe. So I'm now 8 miles inbound too. So yeah, the only purpose of this is that you should recognise this area and know how to fly the range circuit. Yeah.
So we would. I was gonna say there's no one else here, but you would use range frequency like you would use tower frequency if you're in this area.
Yep, exactly.
If there's other people around, well, you should do it all the time, but important if other people are around. And all you need to say basically is downwind and then IP inbound, and your type of attack and weapons of attack. I'll make an example when I get to the IP.
Yeah, I'm just about overhead the bombing circles. I'm Angels 7 almost. I'll begin a right-hand orbit and I'll observe Hammy's drop. So yeah, beginning right-hand orbit now.
Enter 1-3, downwind, northern range bombing circle.
Yeah, I'm overhead as well. I can see it. How many circuit? 4?
There should be 4, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and 2, safe fuel.
2.8.
2.8, perfect, and 1 is 3.1. And 3, safe fuel.
3.5.
Perfect.
That's
That's plenty.
Well, that's why I got a bit of extra fuel at Wakatania, because I was going to do this.
You're going to do a combat run-in.
Good warning. Check. Like it's going to be range bombing circle, enter 1-3, in from the west, hot, 2 times, practice smoke bombs, northern target, pop-up attack. is it? No. Confusing.
Okay, I'm now going to pre-select my TACAN nav for when we return to Akrotiri.
Alright. Overturned a little bit. Pickle and off north, and turning right.
It's on the outer circle, long slightly. Got it now.
Yeah, I was I still had power on instead of power reduced, which meant I was still speeding up on the final drop, which wasn't ideal. Okay, that's me done.
All right, so flight. We're going to recover to Akrotiri. So if you all want to turn direct Akrotiri TACAN now, I'm reading 52 miles and I'm turning in.
Breeze 42 miles, Akrotiri.
Was 47.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to speed up a little then so I catch up with you guys.
I'm at 300 indicated, I'll wait for catch up.
Okay, I'm now 48 and I'm direct inbound. Okay, so before we make 10 miles inbound, I need to make the call that we're entering the airspace and that we're going to recover. Ah, and my yeah, my heading bug was playing a trick on me. It was pointing the wrong way. It does that from time to time.
Yeah, you're heading south, aren't you?
Yeah. It's cool. I'm turning inbound the TACAN now, though. It's okay. And rolling out on TACAN now. Yeah, heading is bugged. It does that sometimes. Okay, I'm going to accelerate so I can catch up with you guys.
Correction, I'm at Angels 7.5 because I still have return.
Tally one.
Okay.
I'm in your probably, what's that, 10 o'clock maybe? Coming 9 o'clock now?
Oh, visual. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to bring the speed back a bit then. We don't need to be going too fast. Okay, I'm direct inbound 33 miles.
Same.
And I'm going to switch stud 1 on com 2. And I'll make an inbound call, but we're far out. We don't need to do the full thing right now. Akrotiri Traffic Mentor, 1 flight 3 times AV-8B inbound 30 miles for recovery. So what we're going to do is we're going to aim kind of left of the field. We're going to cross the middle of the airfield and enter a downwind just to the south of the field, making left turns. So we'll cross the middle of the field, turn left, we'll be in the downwind, and then when we pass the end of the runway, we'll make a left turn onto final. And it's runway 28, it's the same one we took off from, facing in the same direction we took off.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I'm going to deviate just a little bit left just now. I want to aim for the right-hand edge of the lake right now. Also note that the TACAN for Akrotiri is not exactly on the field. It's offset quite far to the south of the field, so just be aware.
Well, actually, this is just something that someone put in the mission about. You can switch it to Yankee, and it will be on 28 landing spot.
But that's cheating. That's very naughty. I wouldn't stand for it. Okay, once we get a bit closer in, I'll begin our descent, and we'll get the speed into the correct range as well. So that was the A10s who made a call there on frequency. So they're also doing something. Okay, 15 miles. I'm going to begin my descent now. And I'll make my inbound call shortly. So we're aiming, well, by the time we get into the downwind, we want to be 1,000 feet, 250 knots. I'm actually going to bring the power back. 60%. And I'll make my inbound call now. Akrotiri traffic, Mentor flight is inbound, 10 miles. We'll join the downwind for runway 28 to land. Okay, I'm pre-selecting my landing light on. I'm switching to VSTOL master mode, so I've got all my symbology ready. That's me 10 miles.
10 miles, but no visual with you.
I'm flying direct to the lake right now. And two, it's fine to fly like a trail with me, but have a bit of spacing. And when I make my turn on to final, just extend your downwind a bit. You like count to 10 and then come around.
Okay.
Maybe not 10, 10's a bit much, maybe to 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6 is fine, because you're basically doubling the distance.
Yeah.
Akrotiri traffic, Dragon 11, flight 3810, holding short for recovery of Harrier, Dragon 11.
Dragon, this is Mentor. No need, you guys can go now if you like.
Copy that.
Okay, I'm leveling out at 1,000. And letting the speed come back. Hammy, I think you just passed over me.
Angels 1-5.
Yeah, you're fine. You can carry on. You can be number 1 to land. That's not a big deal. Okay, I'm at 1,000 feet. I'm letting the speed come down to 250 knots. I'm going to make my right turn now to fly right over the top of the field. And then I'll join the downwind and make a left turn.
I've just crossed the field now.
Akrotiri traffic, Mentor flight overhead the field, 1,000. Oh yeah, I see those boys on the runway. They'll be clear by the time we get around, I suspect. So I'm going to go out to the coast and then make my left turn onto the downwind. Hammy is already in the downwind. Okay, left turn now.
I'm going to add an extra 5 seconds in a normal base turn, just to give the chance some time.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, I'm in the downwind now. Mentor, downwind, runway 28 to land. Okay, I'm going to get configured now. So it's gear down, nozzles to 25, flaps to stall. And I'm set. I can see Hammy's making his turn. I'm going to let him get some distance, then I'm going to do my turn.
We have
Okay.
to go around there.
One's in the turn. You're saying you need to go around 3?
No, it's fine. They've just started their takeoff.
They're rolling. Okay, that gives you clearance. You're good to go.
That's a 1-3 on final, traffic in sight on the runway.
Okay, I'm going to come around and get on final, then I'll get configured. Setting 60 nozzle.
2's in the turn.
One's fully configured. Okay, Witchy's hat on the horizon. Flight path marker on the touchdown point.
Aspertiri, traffic, dragonfly now clear of the Arctic.
Mentor 1-1 established. Final, runway 28 to land. 1-1 is number 2 to land.
Midfield. Yeah, I'm going to touch down midfield.
Cool, that's good. Good procedure. So you see just how slow we're going to once we're fully established and configured on final. I'm doing 85 knots on final, which is pretty ridiculously slow for a jet.
Yeah, I got 90.
Yeah, yes, that's going to be about
Pretty,
right.
I can see you ahead anyway.
Yeah, quite leisurely. Okay, got my altitude call out, fully established, 3 miles.
2 final.
Yeah, and our
4
A10
miles.
buddies are clear. That's perfect. Mile separation, that's very good.
Yeah, we should call final on.
On COM 2, but that's okay. That's okay for
yeah.
today.
I have to go all the way along.
Yep, I've got you in sight 3.
Missed my turn.
Oh, and that's my bingo just as I touch down. Nice. One's on the ground.
That's funny. I'm 100 pounds from bingo, so that's good planning.
Yeah. Good job.
Not bingo.
Bingo. Bingo. Okay, flaps to cruise.
Yeah,
Gonna
if
roll
we
to
were
the next exit.
If we were doing a warning light bingo, I would definitely have won some money.
Okay, one's exiting left now,
But it's
and
around
I'm clear.
Yankee.
And from here, I'm going to make a right turn on Yankee and return to the same. Actually, no, I'm going to go left from here. I'm just going to go to this open ramp here and park. So feel free to come and find me too if you can.
Okay.
I just exited left, then went left again to this little ramp area. And at this stage, landing light comes off, expendables are off. Don't want to accidentally flare somebody.
Yeah, if you're the last person to take off or land, so like runways clear or your gear up, for example. So that
Yeah,
then
you're going
he
to want to
can make-
report that.
So that then he can then make the call to thing. And once you get a bit more used to it, then you can just do that yourself as the last man. Say like you're I'm number 3 today. If I had taken off with you guys, I probably would have just called that we were clear of the runway. They've got a bit more
Two's clear.
used to it.
Yep.
Two's
Active
clear.
traffic mentor flight is clear of the active.
So.
Okay, so we'll just stack up here on this ramp here, and then we can shut down. That is the end of the mission.
Cool.
Is there space on your right, or am I going left? Deep.
No, you're perfect. You're perfect. You're going to go my left. So yeah, basically the first person into the ramp would take the position all the way at the end, and then everybody else takes positions to his left, basically. First man always goes to the last position. And yeah, once you're here, go ahead and get the ground crew to put the chocks in, and then go ahead and shut your aircraft down, secure it. Okay, raise my cool tinted visor.
Were you talking about position lights earlier when we were
Yeah.
flying for mission? Okay, well,
It's formation
Um,
lights, you shouldn't have them on during the day.
right, hang. Formation lights.
Yeah.
Full brightness. Formation
Yeah,
lights.
so for daytime you've got formation lights off, you've got position bright and anti-collision on as long as you have the engine running. That's the standard.
And then at night time, it's formation lights about 50%. Although we found out that when we did the night training, it has to be 100% for the current version of DCS.
Yeah,
Because
we've
you
got it a
can't
bit
see
bugged.
shit otherwise. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna pull my finger lifts and put my engine into shutdown. Because I'm a cool boy. Okay, and my aircraft is secure. I shall see you chaps back on Discord. I'll need to swap headsets, so I'll just be a moment.
Righto. That's it.
Okay, chaps, I'm back.
Cool.
Splendid. So that was really good. That was an OCT1 pass for you, Happy Meal. You achieved everything you needed to achieve for that one. So well
Excellent.
done. Any questions or comments?
No, I did record it. So, yeah. There's a lot to take in, so, you know.
Yeah, it's
I've
a
got
bunch
a
of
track.
stuff. So we're basically covering STO there, rolling vertical landing, all of the airfield ops, all of the comms, navigation, cruise page, fuel flow,
Yeah.
kind of, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. TACAN. So, but yeah, no, I was perfectly happy with that. So I'll update the sheet and give you an OCT1 pass on there, and also add hours for those of us who flew there tonight.
Great. So what's the next one?
Next one is OCT2, and that is weapons.
Right. Okay.
Weapons and map.
Yeah. Which
So
weapons?
we drop laser JDAMs and the E2 laser Maverick at the range, and we also do non-sequential routing. I've got a video on that on my channel that you can check out if you want, and we also check out time on target.
Crikey. Okay. Is that using
It's a
the
lot.
targeting
It's a
part as
lot.
well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a fairly long session, as in like add an extra 20 minutes
Yeah.
to tonight probably, or you can split it into two if needs be.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I did a slightly overly long one a few weeks ago because we had 2 refreshers plus one of the new guys, so it was like an OCT2 and a bit, but that lasted too long in reflection. So the next time we did it, like last week or the week before, it cut it back down. But even the cut down version was still 2 hours and 20 minutes. So yeah, it's a lot.
Wow. Okay.
But you can do it in 2 sessions if needs be.
Yeah.
Focus on the map work one day and the weapons the other day, but if possible, just try and do it all in one go.
Yeah. And what I sometimes do for a laugh is that we do the JDAM drop, and then of course you have to go and refuel and rearm the aircraft. And I sometimes go and do that at Lakatamia just to add an extra challenge. So you're not just having to do a normal landing and arm up. You're having to do a rolling vertical and then put a bunch of weight on the aircraft and then take off from that tiny runway again.
Sounds
Because we like a
entertaining.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What about the ship? Do you fly to that?
Yeah, a ship is a separate qualification.
Okay.
So OCT1 and OCT2 are done ashore, and you have an option of various qualifications that you can do. We do night qualification, we do ship ops qualification, we do air-to-air refueling qualification. We also do a qualification in the Gazelle, because we can optionally have a helicopter recon element as part of 3 Squadron in the Gazelle. But all of those are optional. The only ones that are mandatory are OCT1 and OCT2.
Right.
I would recommend though, although you've basically done it when you do the Lakatamia takeoffs, but you don't need to land at the boat. But quite a lot of the missions we start from the boat, so you should, in single player at least, just practice a few carrier takeoffs, because quite a few of the missions when we get to the campaigns you'll start there. You won't really have much of a choice. You'll have a choice where to land, but you won't have a choice where to take off necessarily.
Yeah.
So
I think the ship ops qualification is very much recommended, but it's
very
not
much recommended.
mandatory.
But even not needed if you can at least take off, then that's fine. No.
Yeah. Cool. That was really
Cool.
good.
Excellent.
Well done. Any questions, or is everything pretty straightforward?
Nah, that's pretty good, I think. Yeah. I'll go and do it again. Now I've got the track and just probably jump on with Donk at some point and run through it.
Absolutely perfect. That's great. Okie dokie. Well, in that case, I shall disappear just now, but thank you very much
Yeah.
for the flight, chaps. That was good fun.
Alright, chaps.
Right, take care.
Cheers.
Bye.
I'll catch you later. It's alright.
Yeah, stay happy.
It's alright.